Hey everyone, this is Elias from Red Match Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2023 Honda Pilot all-wheel drive Trailsport. Now, yeah, a little bit of a change of scenery. We're actually in Miami, and big shout out to Didi for giving us an amazing background. We love your work, we love you, you're awesome artist and even better human being. So yeah, we have the Pilot and we drove all the way from Texas to Miami. So let's get started so I can explain to you all the amazing things that this vehicle made easy for us on that big drive. Let's get started. We get started in the front and we can see this is actually a really nice looking front end. It definitely goes more towards the aggressive feel that we have in the newer Honda lineup, kind of that Honda Civic, just a little bit, you know, bulkier, so to speak. But this color is beautiful. It's like a concrete slate bluish color. I love the way that this looks. Definitely the way to go. Or you go with the other blue that is just kind of a brighter blue, but the color selection on this is really nice. I love this. So with it being the Trailsport, we have the Trailsport badge here, and we have the black grille, which looks great. Love it. Big Honda badging here. We do have the front facing camera. It does have a little cleaner here in case you decide to get it a little bit dirty, or yeah, even though we're in Miami, the weather isn't cooperating today, so it's nice to have that, or especially if you're on a road trip and you get bugs, stuff like that, it's nice to have a nice little cleaner here. But that's part of the 360 trail camera that you get with the Trailsport, because again, if you want to take this off-roading, sometimes when you're trying to go over a crest, it's easy to use the cameras to go ahead and see forward. And yeah, overall though, it's a really nice front end. It's a little dirty with bugs because again, yeah, we took this on a really long road trip. But down here, you know, we have the nice little lower grille. This does sit an inch higher because it is the Trailsport. We do have that raised suspension, which is nice, especially if you want to avoid hitting this guy. But if you do, it's not a problem because we have skid plates underneath this. Yes, so there is underbody protection when you get the Trailsport, which is nice, especially with some potholes here, which aren't really the best. It's nice to have that extra protection, or if you decide to go out on some trails. But overall though, I do love the front end. The headlights are really nice. They have a nice sleek design, really clear at night, you know, driving through some highways that had no light whatsoever. Was able to spot some deers, so definitely very helpful to have. Automatic high beams was a nice option to have. The one thing this really lacked is these fog lights down here. These fog lights were non-existent. Literally, it was like illuminating no more than what I am here, which when I'm sitting in there, I could barely tell that it was illuminating this little area. It was really, really lacking. So yeah, maybe adjusting them to point a little bit more outward would definitely be the way to go. But overall though, I do love the color. I do love the design. I love the Trailsport orange badging. It's a really nice touch. So let's go ahead and see what we have under this hood. We get under the hood and we have the 3.5 liter V6 cranking out 285 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. It is connected to the 10-speed auto and then to the IVT M4 all-wheel drive system. Now, a couple of things with this. Let's talk because this is going to be a lot to talk about. First, we don't have a turbocharged engine. We don't have a supercharged engine. We don't have a hybrid engine. That's new. That's new for me for a while, minus my Miata. But it was actually kind of refreshing to have as far as performance goes. Now, yes, we don't have, and bear with me, there's a lot of numbers to this. Now, we didn't have an exorbitant amount of power to this, you know, number-wise, but the behavior or the response, that instant throttle response was nice to have. I didn't have to wait for boost to kick in. Granted, hybrid is a nice touch because it's pretty good, but we don't have the added hybrid weight to it, which can sometimes almost cancel that off. But performance-wise, with the throttle, it was great. This was 90% in eco mode, and we had to switch it over to normal mode and sport to give you even faster response when we were driving in Miami, because yeah, Miami driving is like no other. It literally is like no other. So you kind of have to be responsive in, you know, hitting the gas when you have a small moment to pass someone or to kind of sneak into the next lane, so to speak. But the throttle response was incredible. Eco made me behave so well in this, so I was definitely loving that mode. Now, gas mileage, I was averaging from the trip about 20 miles to the gallon, almost 21, so about 20.5, I would say. And I was doing about 70, 75, sometimes 80, depending on how traffic flow was. I did catch some stop and go. So overall, I was looking at around that 20.5 to 21 miles to the gallon on that. So it's not the most efficient, because you can get some other bigger vehicles, but it works well. Then the 10-speed auto, incredible. It was nice to get those shifts going through, so smooth. It felt like a CVT transmission in the sense of going from one gear to the next. Not the performance, because you still got great performance out of this transmission to go through those gears. And when you floored it, downshifts were so quick. So that was super impressive with this. I love it. No complaints there. Then when we get to the, and it's special acronym, it is the IVTM4 all-wheel drive system. It has been incredible. Now, I have been experiencing that here. I've been experiencing it with the, you know, rain, which is nice because, you know, you have that added safety that if you're on slick roads, especially kind of like that Dewey where it hasn't rained in a while and there's like oil on the street, and then mix it with water, bad recipe for disaster. But this has been great at handling that power distribution. And again, I've seen some guys drive this on off-roading paths, which unfortunately we don't have because we're in Miami, but it has been incredible at seeing how the power gets distributed from one wheel to the other. It's been amazing. And we're talking about big hitters against big hitters like Toyota, big hitters like Jeep. And you know, it's incredible how this power distribution has worked so well. I'm just on that alone, especially in Texas when we're starting to get more and more snow every year. It would be nice to have this peace of mind to get that power down and to the correct wheel. So that has been the most impressive thing with this powertrain. And again, yeah, that naturally aspirated power, it's kind of nice to have back. But yeah, turbos are still fun. So let's go ahead and take a look at those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and we have the Trailsport exclusive 18-inch wheel, and it is wrapped in the 265/60 Continental Terrain Contact tire. Now, a couple of things with this. I love the design. I love this wheel. I love the color, especially with this color that the Trailsport came in. I love it. You have the little badge up here that says Trailsport right inside of the wheel design. I love this meaty spoke. So love that, the look. But it's not just about looks, it's about performance as well. And that comes to the tire. So we do have this Meteor tire compared to your more civilized pilots, but let me tell you, this behaves just as civilized as those. It is a grabbier Meteor tire, and it just was so quiet, so smooth. So really no complaints there. The grip is there as well for everyday driving and you know, some good off-roading. I'm not even gonna say light, I'm gonna say good off-roading. This package was incredible. What makes it even better is the suspension. So yes, we do get an inch higher of clearance here, and the suspension just behaves so well on everyday streets, even on some unpaved roads that I took. It was just incredible how smooth and how great this performed. The brakes, The brakes a little bit, you have to kind of get a little bit used to it. It is a little bit on the softer side, so you have to be a little bit more aggressive when you go to brake, because you kind of get a little bit of a dead spot, but then it catches. But overall though, this suspension has been incredible. This wheel and tire setup has been incredible. So definitely loving this setup. And yeah, if you're gonna be a little bit more aggressive on your off-roading, because this, you know, all-wheel drive system really can deliver the power where it needs to, yeah, you may want to upgrade these tires. Well, let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We get to the side and we can see this thing is actually really big. It's big and spacious, but it's still really easy to park, which is a nice thing to do, especially when you're dealing with parking lots that may not be the biggest. They're not Texas-sized parking lots is what I mean. But we get started in the front and we can see the headlight peeking out just a little bit. We have the 18-inch wheels, which you can see with the added inch of height. It just looks really nice, really aggressive looking. Those wheels and tires, again, look spectacular. We do get a little bit of body protection. So we have this little plastic lip there on the fenders. And then down here, it follows with a little bit more plastic protection. But speaking about protection, again, we do have some underbody protection, steel plates for you to take this guy off-roading, and yeah, maybe take it a little bit further than you would normally would another SUV that doesn't have that protection. So the other thing as well, we have the black mirrors with the camera system underneath to add to that trail camera, which has been really great. The clarity to see where the wheels are gonna hit has been incredible. To add to the 360-degree system, just spectacular, really good stuff. And of course, my favorite, we have the black framing around the windows. We do have black handles, which is a nice touch. We have this nice little corner window back there, or this rear window there for your third row passengers. Yes, this does have a third row. And yeah, even though I'm not a big fan of third rows because sometimes they're honestly half-assed, this is actually done really well. So I do like that design there. And of course, we have some rails up here for those extra toys that may not fit inside and you want to put them up there. So overall though, it is a nice design. Now I don't have the key fob with me because a couple of things just kept kind of getting me. If you have the key fob near the car, it will turn on the dome light inside. So I kept getting confused. I'm like, wait a minute, why does that keep turning on? So you do have that option. So let me go ahead and grab the key. So I have the key fob and I'll go ahead and get near it. And yeah, I think it only works at night, but as soon as I grab the door handle, it unlocks and I can go ahead and open and I'm in business. So I can go ahead and close it, lock it through there, and I go to grab the rear and the rear is not going to unlock. So there isn't a sensor in the rear, only in the front. So I do have to activate it there, and then I can open up, nice big opening for your rear passengers. So I'll go ahead and close this off, lock up, and that's the side. I do like the profile. I do like the big size of it. It does feel very, not bulky, but just very strong presence to it. So let's go ahead and head to the rear and see what we have back there. We take a look at the back and we can see this thing is still showing off its larger than life presence. It's really, really nice. A lot of great little design elements to it. Starting at the top, we have this nice little spoiler up there. It really takes off on the lines when we see it from the side profile. And we have this rear glass, really nice big opening. We do have the wiper to help out with the rear window here. I would have liked, it would have been nice to see this in here as just an added cleanup touch, because yeah, I'm not always a big fan of having a wiper just kind of in the middle there, but it is still a nice touch. The taillights, I love these taillights because a couple of things. First of all, it's like a deep red, so it's like a smoked red look to the red parts, and the clear parts have, again, a little bit of that smoked look to it. It's just a really nice design. Clear plastic on the outside, but we see all the design elements on the inside. So really big fan of this design. And then we have the big Pilot just coming across to connect these two together. So really nice touch, black badging as well on there. We have the all-wheel drive, we have the Trailsport badging there as well. And down here, yeah, we have a little bit more plastic, but when you're going to be taking this out on the trail, you need something a little bit more flexible to take that abuse. And down here, we do have towing capacity for 5,000 pounds. Yeah, I would say that's kind of where I want to start at for towing the Miata, in case I get a little bit of a heavier trailer. But definitely, if you're going to be hauling a camper, it can do that. So small camper for, you know, for overlanding, things like that. It's really nice touch to have that when you're dealing with, again, a bigger SUV like this. But that's what we have. Let's go ahead and we open up the rear and let's see what we have inside here. So we open up and we can see there's some cargo area. We do have the third row is currently up. We do have this cover there. There's something special about this. Believe it or not, I have all my gear in here, and that's because we have it down here in this little compartment. We can see there is more additional storage here, which I love. I love having this down there because I can put things out of sight, and that way we won't have people that are wandering and looking around, you know, to see what you have in your vehicle. So it's a nice little touch. We did the typical Disney trip. This is where we put our purchases in there, so they didn't see that we had any merchandise, which is a nice little touch when you're vacationing and you want to put some valuables away. It's not the super tallest, so you can see I had to have my bag open so that it can fit in there, but it is a good extra size to have. Now this cover, it is reversible, so we do have the softer side and we have the harder side up here. One problem with this is, if you notice, I've been kind of holding it. It would have been nice to just kind of be able to like Velcro or something, which is probably what I would do on my personal vehicle, so that when I do this, it would just Velcro there and then I can just bring it back down when I need to, and just quick little locking mechanism. I love that. We do have a little bit of storage there. We do have for a cover. We didn't get it for this trip, but we do have that option there as well. Now, as far as the third row, it is just a matter of pulling this, and there's kind of a trick to it. You have to kind of pull and then push it down. Yeah, so that'll go down flat. I can't put this one flat because I have my kid's seat there. But overall though, it gives you a ton of space for this. And yes, I know I don't like third row seats, but that third row there, you'll see it's actually really, really comfortable area for that. But overall though, that's what you get with the rear storage. We go ahead and we head inside and we can see there's gonna be a ton of space and storage options in this big Pilot vehicle. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of those things. When we take a look at the door, we can see a lot of great material. So we do have a synthetic leather, which makes things easy to clean, especially when you're out on trails, when you know you don't have the best weather, and when you go on a road trip, you want to make sure you're able to clean it afterwards. But everything was super simple to reach. No problems with the window controls, the power seat saved options. We have storage. This was one of the biggest things. We have big storage for water bottles. My wife has those big Fiji bottles that fit there with no problem. She loved that. We do have even little cubbies down here, so I have my wallet in there. We have another cubby down here for additional storage. But yeah, just overall, this door was really, really useful in making sure that we have everything stored away, and we have plenty of cup holders. Now, when we get over to the seat, we do have the Trailsport badging or stitching right up here. It looks great. I love this orange stitching on it. The seats were super comfortable. I mean, I did what, about 1,300 miles and it was super comfortable. Adjustability is great. You're able to move it exactly to my sweet spot. The synthetic leather, again, works well with making sure that, yeah, you just want to literally can almost brush things off with your hand as far as that goes. One thing, it does have heated option. It does not have venting. That was one of the things that, because I guess it's not breathable as much, I did feel like my back was always hot because of the material. So yeah, I wish it had the venting option for that, or even just dimple like openings here to allow some breathing. That's probably one of the downsides to this. But overall though, the seats were super comfortable. And yes, the mats. The mats are gonna be great. Let me move this back, because with the Trailsport, you get special Trailsport mats. And as you can see, yeah, because it's been wet and things are dirty, it's nice to have something like this. Just a matter of taking this out and washing it off and you're good to go. So love these things, especially when you have kids or when you have pets and you're wanting to go off-roading or just somewhere dirty. Yeah. You get inside and the steering wheel is a nice touch to it. I love a lot of the details it has. Like, again, we finally have some colored stitching. Yes, let's take advantage and actually do some cool little things like this. So I love the leather wrapped wheel and it feels really comfortable. Again, the stitching is really nice. Overall, good design to it. We do have the heated option down here, which we didn't really need because, yeah, it's raining. So it's not too hot. I mean, not too cold. It's actually really, really hot right now. But yeah, overall though, the feel to it is really nice. And ergonomically, it's nicely allowing me to place my hand there. Now let's take a look on the side. This has been my favorite. So I hated it at first because of just kind of the, I don't know, position of things, but I needed to just get used to it. The home button, which we'll take a look at, was easy to access, and then you roll down this for the menus. Volume up and down have been incredible, and same thing with volume with track, next track, previous track. So that has been really nice to get to with really just a stretch of my thumb. And I've been able to navigate my menus for my gauge cluster without even having to look up. This is what I really want to talk about, and that is the adaptive cruise control that this has. Now, before, we had the Lexus that I thought was probably one of the best systems because of how smooth and how uneventful the cruise control is, which is kind of what you want. You know, when you're approaching a car, you want it to slow down ever so slightly, and then you want it to speed up, not in the most aggressive way, with the cruise control. So it really was great at just kind of easing off, and it just was incredible. It was aggressive enough in the sense of the distance that you can kind of keep up with traffic, because that's some of the things that you have with kind of setting the distance. Not with this though. So it really was a nice thing to deal with. And gosh, my only regret is I wish I could have activated a lot sooner on my drive than I did, you know, with this. But it was really spectacular. Now, one thing I want to go ahead and show you guys is the wipers. So the wipers, oh yeah, before that, we do have paddle shifters. I haven't needed to use them other than to slow down in a I guess easier fashion to just engine brake. So the downshifts were really nice to have there. Because yeah, we'll take a look at the shifter or the non-existent shifter. So it was nice to have those true paddles, as far as, you know, a true manual that you can tell it to slow down, as opposed to a limiting kind of drivetrain. So so we do have a mist. What that actually does is it makes the wipers go to the extreme fast to just give you a quick swipe, which we'll take a look at right now. Now we get to the gauge cluster, and as you can see, it is partially a screen and partially an analog gauge. So we'll go ahead and turn this on. And yeah, the digital screen is on the left needle, and then the analog one is on the right. So really quick with this, when we press the home button, we have these options: speed and time, we have audio, we have phone, we have navigation, driver attention, all-wheel drive torque distribution, seat belts, maintenance, tire pressure, and so on. So we do have a good amount of different things to play with. So my main one was that, as you can see, 20.3. And again, I've been driving a little bit more city now that I got to Miami. But that's pretty much where we've been. And our trip has so far gained us 2,107 miles at this point. So yeah, we have that. And again, another thing that I really like about this is the all-wheel drive torque distribution, where you can literally see each individual. So it's not so much as front and rear as it is individual when you're taking a turn. So that has been super incredible to see on this. So I like that. It's a little bit more of a simple design as far as like what options you have, but it's simple and straight to the point. Now you can also get rid of some of these things if you're not going to be using them, because I did see myself just kind of having to go through a ton of options here like this to get to what I specifically need. Now, when we get to the center, we're going to see the drive modes where we'll go from sport, we have normal, we have eco or economy, we have snow, trail, sand, tow, and yeah, that's it. So you can see all the little kind of animations that we have for that. Like I said, I've been 90% of the time in economy or eco, and then normal when we were needing to be a little bit more aggressive with things, and then sport when we are needing that instant, extremely instant throttle response. So that has really been where I've really been set to. We get over to the infotainment screen, and it's a pretty good size screen. It's not too big, it's not too small. It does just what you need it to be. It gets out of your way. And right now, Apple CarPlay, that's literally where we've been the majority of the time, except when we've pressed the home button and we've switched over to XM radio. But overall though, that's really been the location where we're at. We do have the multi-view camera, which, like I said, it's been nice to have. We can see all the, like I mentioned, those wheel cameras are super clear. You're able to see exactly where your wheels are pointing, and we have the top-down view, which has been great. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why do you have to go into the home menu and then switch over to the camera? Well, yeah, that's if you want to do it the long way. But my favorite is you literally have it on the windshield wiper stock. So this is where I've been activating it 100% of the times. Literally, I just found out we have it on the infotainment system, but I've been pressing this, and there you go. You can go ahead and switch it to the modes that you want right in there. So it's nice to have such a quick access to it, and it's not in the way of any other buttons. So loving that. We come down to the climate system, and it's been really simple. Again, we have our heated seats, we have the different modes, we have auto, which is nice to set up. We have 3-zone, which is nice for this. We have the front, rear, and the passenger. So nice to have that. We can lock the rear as well, because my kid decided to press a button, and all of a sudden the fans were just flying, you know, going full blast back there, and we were wondering what that noise was. So we do have that rear lock. We also have the defrosting, which was really nice. It's super fast, especially when we hit some foggy parts where the mirrors were really getting foggy. So that was really impressive to have there. We come a little bit lower, and we have the USB-A and the USB-C connections on here. We have a little cubby, which is okay. Not really for a phone. It's not really going to work 100% because of the width, and because it's not that deep. As you can see, when I do that, it's mainly, yeah, it's pretty much almost sticking out, and you're going to get that. It's nice to kind of angle it there, and that's because when you get the wireless charger down here, it's really not the best, which is why I even have it completely off, so that it doesn't even sense it. My phone wasn't being recognized, and it does move around a little bit, so it moves around enough to not activate the wireless charging. So I've just been using the cable and been using the storage, which has been actually way better than if it had just a wireless capability, because I can literally like put it that way, and my wife could put her phone there, and we can put other stuff. So there's tons and tons of space here, which I really like that there. Then we get over, let's move these cables over to something that I don't know if I really like 100%, and that is the shifting. We do have the park, we do have the reverse. So park is you just press down, reverse you push down, neutral you push down there, and then drive like that, and then sport shifting. So not a really big fan of this, because when I go to lay my hand, it's just kind of there. My fear is putting something here that hits it and kicks it out into reverse. I'm sure there's some safety measures, but not something I want to test out. So just a little worried about this. But overall though, I did get used to it, and I was starting to get quick to go from reverse to drive and so on. And thankfully we do have those shift paddles or paddle shifters in order to switch over to the gears to have a more manual mode to it. And again, those drive modes, on, off, auto, off, start. And we have hill descent, which is great with this. When you're really going down those trails, helps out and keep the vehicle stopped. We do have the electronic parking brake. Brake hold has been my favorite, because you leave it on and it stays on, so it's not something you have to activate every single time. The cup holders have been great. Tons of space with the cup holders here. So there's so many cup holders to this, so plenty of space there with no issue. Now we get over to the armrest, and the armrest is nice and big. We have comfortable material, big space. We go ahead and we open it up, and we have a good amount of space. No complaints with what we have there, but overall it's been really good. Now to get to the back, let me show you guys. So we do have your rear view mirror, which you can see, but more importantly, we have that. We have the kind of the passenger or the vehicle. And salude, pap. You can see my dad. He's actually joining me today on this little quick review. But yeah, so you have for your sunglass holder right in there, but it doubles as your security camera. The only thing is, from my perspective, this is kind of what I see, and then you can see your rear view mirror pretty easily there. But the problem is, to get to that, you do have to kind of look a little bit, and there's a big difference between just kind of having it maybe here to see it and having to really look up there. So mom, my wife, was on duty to make sure that everyone was behaving back there. So nice little feature, but I would have probably liked to switch this for this to be down here and this to be further up. But let's go ahead and head to the back and see what we have back there. We head to the back, and a couple of things with this. So we do have the, what I call the peasant blockers, and it's a nice touch, especially when you have a dog in the back that whenever he sees anyone starts freaking out, or for just protection from the sun to help out a little bit for your little ones. We get to the door itself, nice and comfortable, no complaints there. We have the speaker system, which was really great in this, really surprised me. And we have cup holders. Yes, we have a ton of cup holders back here, which is nice for your rear passengers. And overall though, it's a really nice looking back door with functionality in it as well. We get to the back and we can see we have the captain's chair. So with this being a 3-row SUV, the middle row for the Trailsport is captain's chairs. And yes, I know I'm not a fan, but there's a couple of things with this that I really like. I like this platform. I like this platform that you have for passengers that are wanting to get in and out through the middle. They do have the option of stepping on a harder plastic material there. The seats themselves are comfortable, no complaints there. Again, if I were probably sitting back here, I'd probably still complain about the non-breathable material. But we also get the mats down here. So if the kids are dirty, their feet are dirty, the pets are dirty, easy to clean, just take this out and rinse it off. Now to get into the back, we can go ahead and press this button here, and it's actually a pretty good opening. There's no difficulty there, and then just a matter of popping that up, which you can recline. As you can see, my son's is a little bit more reclined, but plenty of space. Even though that seat is all the way back, you can move it forward and there's plenty of space there. My dad is also sitting fairly back, so for every row there's a good amount of legroom space. And did I mention there's a ton of cup holders in here? Because there are. So definitely really impressive. And you have USB charging on each side and with the AC in the third row. So again, this has been incredible with how much space and how much you can really get out of this for a trip, a road trip. It's been super easy to drive this thing. And again, we can just put that back, and that is really the rear. So overall, the Honda Pilot all-wheel drive Trailsport has been incredible. This thing has been a breeze to drive, literally thousands of miles. And we got about a couple thousand more to go when we have to go back to Texas. But this has been incredible. If you need a road trip vehicle, this is it. If you need an adventure vehicle, this is really it. It's hard to really beat this package because it's so good at a lot of things. So a couple of things in the Trailsport package. I love it because we have that added safety that if you run across maybe not the best of terrains or best of roads, you're gonna have that all-wheel drive system that this has to deliver the power to the right wheels. We have those Meteor tires, which are going to give you that aggressive bite to that terrain that may not be the best. The suspension for everyday driving is incredibly smooth. It looks great. That color is beautiful. Those wheels look awesome. We have the added height of that 1-inch lift on it as well, which is, again, just that added peace of mind and added safety, really. And speaking about safety, that underbody cover protection is really going to help out. Again, if you maybe even something, if you hit on the road, you see some debris on the road, if it bangs the underneath, those underbody protection panels are going to help you out with that. The V6 was nice and smooth. Power delivery was there when you needed to. The transmission was great. So we still have that great package. MPGs definitely would have liked a little bit more, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, really. But it's always good to, you know, put these companies on their feet and want more and get that improvement that you're wanting. But yeah, that would really be it. The interior was super comfortable, no complaints there. Minus, yeah, maybe a little bit breathability with the seat, because yeah, my back is hot right now, even though my front is super cold from the nice AC. The steering wheel, the cruise control makes driving so easy to have, makes it fun, you know, relaxing. Apple CarPlay is there. You know, it's just a really great package. Tons of space in the rear, tons of storage space as well underneath that. We have the nice big panoramic sunroof, so if we want to let nature in or we want to see out, so to speak. So it's just been an incredible ride. Yeah. Let's just say this kicked off a lot of vehicles on my list of wants and put itself way above them. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this view of the 2023 Honda Pilot all-wheel drive Trailsport. And remember, find the right gear. See ya.